Hey everyone, this is Winston Wilson with the Creativity Cocktail. Today we'll be talking with NAZ Pankey. NAZ is having some challenges with getting on right quick, so we're hopeful to be able to get her back
Hey
on
everyone,
real
this
quick. So hang on everyone for us. While she is joining us, I just want to tell you that I'm glad that you've joined. Nas is doing some amazing things that's out there. She's really taking the film world by storm. It's just been amazing. And she's been on the show before. And so it's just been fantastic for her to hear her and to see what's going on with her. And I'm looking forward to this conversation. As you know, technical things happen, and so she's been trying to log in. I didn't see her face, but nonetheless, she is phenomenal. She has got so many great things, and I'm hoping to talk to her about all the awesome things that she has that's up there right now. So hang on there real quick for us, and we hope to get her back really soon. So we hope you guys are doing well today. Today is it's a better day here in Atlanta than it's been recently. So I've been pretty jazzed about the fact that it's just been better than it was. So we'll be talking about her book. We'll also be talking about some of the other things she's involved in. And so I'm hoping to get her on. I'm hoping that she is okay. But I was just talking to her, and she just was having a challenge getting on to this. So hang on, everybody. Nas is great. Nas is dope. She's from the South Bronx. She is phenomenal. You all know that she is. And so hang on really quick for us. Um, while we wait for Nas, I've got another conversation coming up with Diane Nix here at 11 o'clock that is going to be amazing. Diane is a wellness coach, and she is doing some amazing things when you think about how wellness connects to creativity. It's just been great to see how that can work for us. And then at 2 p.m. today, we're going to be talking on surviving business. So if you're not connected to surviving business on YouTube, please go and take a look at it right now because it's great. It's a program or a channel in which we talk about businesses that are out there suffering and how we, myself and David Wilson, how we can lend our 50 years worth of expertise to it. The Creativity Cocktail has been great over these last couple of years. One thing I'd like for you all to know is that we're going to have a celebration of the last 2 years here in April because I believe that's our first broadcast that we did. It was really, really rudimentary. So hang on real quick. I think we've got Nas joining us here. Hey, Nas.
Hey, it's telling me to grant access to my camera.
Yes, please do so.
I don't see where to do that at though. It's just telling me that, but it's
Hang
not
on, hang on,
giving
crowd.
me an option to do it.
Hang on, everyone. This is Winston. We're going to hang on real quick while I talk with Nas. Um, so hang on real quick, Nas. I'm going to put myself on mute real quick and put the screen up here for the crowd. Give me a second. So everyone, Nas is joining us. For those of you who are out there, the program I use that's been working pretty well for me so far is called Ecamm, and Ecamm is a pretty good program that I really enjoy using. However, what I think we found out here is that there's some browsers, and I think she's using Firefox, which I haven't used in a while. Firefox may not be working well with Ecamm. Thank you for all of those of you who are joining. I see that we've got a few people have joined us today. Um, take a look at the great things that Nas is doing. She's the owner of Beast Mode Entertainment. It is phenomenal. This book here that I have gotten from her, I bought it as soon as it was out. We'll talk about that once she joins, but it is fantastic. It's really about her growing up in the Bronx and how she was able to take the challenges of her childhood and really capitalize on it. And so listen to that. You'll probably be pretty excited about that. Then one of her shows she'll talk about here coming up here is the Super. The Super is fantastic. It's a great show. I watch every single episode. It's all on YouTube. So I think it's great. So Nas is here. We are using a phone. So Nas, can you hear me okay? All right. She is on, but I think she's trying to get connected real quick. So anyway, the Super is fantastic, and I think you'll really enjoy that. Um, so I'm going to try to bring her up and see if she is on. I see you.
You do?
I,
Hey,
I,
all right.
I do see you. I'm going to bring you out of the green room real
Okay.
quick. Hang on real quick.
Okay.
As soon as it lets me do that. So everyone that's on real quick, we're going to put you back on mute while I get. You are on, Nas. You are with us now. You are live with everyone here. So,
Hey,
hey,
I'm wondering if that light in the background is a problem from my window, but I'll try to turn my cheering away with. Does it?
you still look
Is this
phenomenal.
better?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Winston. So
Hey, how
great to
you
see
doing?
you.
So great to see you too. These things happen, so I'm glad that you're with us today. Um,
Yes.
I was so thrilled when I started to see all the great things that you were up to. uh,
Thank
from
you.
with Beast Mode Entertainment. I was just like, oh my gosh, Nas is everywhere. She's doing all. So we gotta have her back on. And before you came on, I was talking to those of us who joined, and we had a few people join. So I appreciate those people for joining us today. We were talking about your book here, and I don't know if you can see it, but Evergreen Uprooted. And I'd like to really kick off by talking to the crowd and talking to the audience about that and how that's going
Okay.
and what was the genesis of that.
Wow. Evergreen Uprooted is going really well. I'm really, really proud of something I did in 2020, which was a virtual book signing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was so much fun. I worked together with some amazing creatives. Lester Green, he helped produce it with me. He is an actor, voiceover artist, just an amazing person all the way around. And he and I produced through the Looking Glass together in this book signing, virtual book signing. It was a whole experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had Andrew McAllister played the trainer who helped get whip me into shape to get ready for this book signing. And then we went on a journey of as it was like a docudrama, reading the story and talking about my life. And we had Rosalind Patterson Smith. She starred in it. She played the role of Anne. who's my mother. I had Eloise Hunt. She played the role of Secret. And we just had some amazing actors and in it that just was able to bring the words off the page to life on the screen. So that was a lot of fun. I ended up reading an excerpt. I was also in it as well,
I
reading
saw that
out.
part. I saw that.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard that. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun just keeping the book alive, keeping the story alive. It's needed, it's necessary because one of the things that I noticed and I still want to focus on, there are still a lot of children being sexually abused by family members, by strangers, just being sexually abused. And as long as there are people being abused sexually, I will keep talking about it, no matter how uncomfortable people are with the topic. I will keep talking about it as long as it keeps happening.
I tell you, it's a horrible thing that's happened to so
Hmm.
many people all over the planet Earth, and it's violence, right? And it's just violence that has such an effect on not just the person that it happens to, but in subsequent relationships that they have with other people and their own children and all that. It's a cascading effect. In my opinion, that it's one of those crimes, and I'm not a big one way or the other about crimes and all of that, but when it comes to violence against people, especially that kind of violence, it's something that needs to be. There is no excuse for it. It just isn't.
There's no excuse.
It just
And,
isn't.
and the thing about it is people don't like talking about it. They don't want to, they don't want, if you make a movie, they don't want to show this in the movie. And they tell you don't really show what's really happening because people can't take it. Well, I'm at a place whereas I don't care. There's a child being hurt. There's a
Right.
child being abused. There's somebody taking advantage of a kid who doesn't have much, or a kid who doesn't have family, or somebody. It's just happening in families. There's a dad that's touching their son, or a dad that's touching their daughter, or a mother that's touching her son or daughter, because women do it as well. I was abused by my stepfather and my cousin, my female cousin. No one in the family thought that she would do this. No, people in the family, they still don't believe that she did it. She abused me and she abused two of my younger siblings, and that's my mother was strung out on crack. She knew she could do it. She knew she could get away with it. And she did. So I was abused as an adult as well. It's something that's happening and it's happening a lot,
Yeah.
and we just have to talk about it no matter how uncomfortable it is. And so I keep Evergreen Uprooted alive, not just to talk about how I survived the crack epidemic and just the things that has taken place to survive, that's taken place in my life where I've had to survive, but it's really to talk about the sexual abuse and the things that's still happening today. That's what it's
The
about.
thing I love about you is that a lot of people, I'm not saying a lot of people, but many, I know so many people who've gone through what you've gone through, but everybody's experience is just as bad and just as different. But
Hmm.
what you've done is that you've taken it as an inspiration to give to other people and to transform your life. You've become one of the more inspirational people
Yeah.
that I know, Nas. And that
Thank
has
you.
a reverse cascading effect, like where the abuse and the violence has a cascading effect on all your relationships. What you've done is have a reverse effect where you've broken whatever cycle, if there was one, that existed, and you're now giving beauty and like the grace that we all can give to other people. I tell you, from my viewpoint, that's really hard. It's really
Thank
uncomfortable. It's
you.
so really necessary these days because my opinion is that right now, every single one of us on the planet Earth, for the most part, are going through some kind of trauma. And the trauma is called the pandemic or climate change. And then on top of
Mhm.
that, then we've got all our specific things that are happening. And a lot of it's based in fear. Like my parents, when they came and the way they were reared, they just thought that beating and abuse was just the way you did things.
Yes.
It was just, oh,
Yes.
you just got to keep beating the kid and then that'll solve the problem.
That'll solve the problem. And that's the thing. We have to break those patterns. because it trickles down to our kids. It trickles down generation to generation to generation. And that's one of the things I'm learning every day. You know, when you spend most of your life just trying to survive, and that's really been most of my life. You know a lot about my story, Winston. Reading on a third grade level, you know, borderline illiterate, and always having to figure out ways to survive. Which I'm happy. I'm happy that happened to me because it taught me how to think out of the box. You know, I don't think my thing is not I have this book and I have to do it the way this book tells me to do it, you know, and if I'm not doing it A, B, C, D, and E all the way to Z, I can't do it. You know, I see stuff outside of the box
Yeah,
because I've had to do that. And it was times I didn't have a book. So, you know, at 8 years old, while other kids are like, oh, I want to be a cheerleader and I want to play sports and I want to be a Girl Scout and all that stuff. I didn't do that. I'm going to school and I want a best friend and this one don't like. I didn't do that. My life was survival. My life was how what am I going to eat today and how am I going to do that? You know, how am I going to take care of my sisters? How am I going to keep them from getting beat if my stepfather comes home in a bad mood? You know, how am I not going to get beat if my mother wants drugs and she can't get it? How do I protect them? How do we survive? And that was my daily life. You know, when I went to school, how do I survive? I have to fight. I'm in the South Bronx.
yeah,
No, you have to fight. How do I make it throughout my life? A single mother, borderline illiterate. How do I take care of two kids on my own with no father, no help?
yeah.
You
One of,
know, how do I do this? And that's been my life, has been about surviving and thinking outside the box. And everything that I've had to do to get to this point, God's been preparing me to get to this point because He's always working behind the scenes, right? Our life is a setup and God is always working behind the scenes. So everything that has happened is to get me to this point, and I thank God for it. It wasn't easy, you know, but I'm always ready to roll up my sleeves and work hard
I tell
because
you,
that's what I've just been trained to do. That's what I've done my whole life.
for those of you who are out there and heard Nas,
Can I share something?
sure,
Oh,
absolutely.
sorry.
No, I was just going to say something about what you said about thinking outside of the box and doing what you need to do. A lot of times I've heard people
Yes.
say that you have to fit into some mold, and I reject that like 100%. Like, I'm a creative person. God has put me on here to create something beautiful in this world and in this life. A box may help, or a paint by numbers might work, but it doesn't work for me, and it sounds like it doesn't work for you either.
Mm.
It doesn't connect for you the same way.
No,
So you were going to share
no.
something before I had that
Uh,
comment.
yes. Am I frozen on the screen or am I moving?
You're frozen a little bit there, but keep
Yeah,
going.
I look frozen. I mean, the okay. Well, I guess I wanted to share something. When I was about 7, 8 years old, my mother got hooked on crack cocaine when I was 6. I was about 7, 8 years old. My mother had all this money from a car accident. She flew through a window of a van, and she survived. And she had all this money, over 6 figures. And we were in the crack house. We would spend time in this crack house. I remember. And there was kids that also was in this crack house. There was nothing in the crack house except for a couch, you know, and these black garbage bags in the windows with these little holes in it. And the kids, they didn't have a light in their eyes. There was no light, and none of us had a light in our eyes because we were hungry, and all we saw was the crackheads walking in and out, in and out, in and out this house. And it was me, and it was my sisters, and there was some other kids, and we would day, you know, sun up, the sun's going down. There's no food in the house. We go in the kitchen, open up the cabinets. There's nothing in the cabinets except for rice, uncooked rice. Put that in our mouths, nothing. Put dirt in your mouth, hungry. And I remember walking out of this crack house, leaving my sisters like I'm gonna have to figure something out. And I'm walking out this crack house and I see this woman pushing her baby in a stroller and the baby's eating cheese doodles. She's eating a bag of cheese doodles. And I thought to myself, I should take that shit. I should take it, you know, take it and run. And I was gonna take this little kid, 2, 3 years old, bag of chips and just run because I was that hungry.
Wow.
And I walked to the bodega. Oh, rack of chips there, the chips, the different kind of chips.
Hmm.
And I just took my hand, grabbed them, ran out the store, went back to the crack house, and everybody had some chips, right? We a little light, a little something. And I didn't like that. I never liked stealing. I never liked dishonesty. There's just something about that I hated. Um, and so I walked to the next day. I was thinking, what can I do? What can I do? I can't let this happen again. And I walked to around the corner to Seatown,
I remember seeing.
and this
Yeah,
guy popped, and I said, "Hey, bags." I took my sisters. Remember Seatown? I took
I
my
remember seeing
sisters.
that.
I had them in the shopping cart, and I just started packing bags. Yeah, the coins would fill up to the top. I cash it in, get some bills, pack some more bags, and that's how we ate. Because I didn't want to steal, so I had to figure out another way. There's always other ways. There's always other ways of getting around things, and that helps me with filmmaking. When somebody says, "Hey, you can't do it," or "We can't do it," I'm like, "Wait a minute, there's a way. We just gotta figure it out. There's more than one way."
That's
We
right.
just gotta figure it out.
I tell
And
you,
it's
you,
just, yeah, it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing.
you are so unbelievably inspiring. So tell us about the filmmaking world, Beast Mode Entertainment. Tell us about the Super. Before you came on, I was telling the audience I watched every single episode. I thought it was cool. It was so much fun. So tell us about that and tell us how that's going for you.
It's going really well. The super happened during the pandemic,
Yes.
and sitting in the house, in the house, board in the house. And me, I'm just a content creator. I just have to create content. And my son and I, we started watching some web series, which was my first time just being able to sit down. So I'm always moving and out and about. And we were sitting down, my oldest son Lance and I, watching a whole bunch of web series. And I said, we should do one. He was like, we should, Mom. Then we just started talking. And I grew up in the South Bronx. I grew up in a neighborhood that they was supposedly gentrified, but it wasn't. It was, they fixed up some of the buildings, but it was just poor people living in the neighborhood that was trying to survive. And I said, hey, that still happens. I know what it is, to live in these neighborhoods. Then I moved when I was older to Stamford, Connecticut. But I lived in a gentrified neighborhood, so it's like from the slums to a better slum. And we were all still just trying to survive, right? So you always got the lady in the building who, she has 30 kids that she's watching with no license, and she does it like a pro because she's been doing it forever. And I actually knew this woman who couldn't read or write, and all she had to do was play her numbers, and she would watch all the kids in the neighborhood. Then you have somebody that has a store. They either selling fish and salads, or they selling candy and from a small bodega or convenience store right in there. So I came up with these characters. You got Mr. Lee and
Yeah.
Mr. Ali, Asian Muslim, and yeah, he's has everything from a nail salon, massage parlor, to he's selling condoms and cigarillos and
That sounds
laminated candy,
that
from his
that sounds right.
apartment.
That's how I remember it. That sounds right.
Yes, yes, yes. And then the squatter, we had to do the Donald Trump, Obama squatter. This
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
one minute he's Trump, one next minute he's Obama, and he's squatting in the building, and he doesn't want to leave. And that was a lot of fun. His character was fun. Then we, of course, Miss Walker, she wants G Hetto. G Hetto is the super Ghetto, like ghetto, but G
Uh-huh.
Hetto. And he is the super of the building, and he's been in the neighborhood. He grew up in this neighborhood, so he knows everybody. No one respects him. He knows everybody in the neighborhood, and his thing is, he wants to protect the building. He sees what's happening, and he wants to protect the building, because when they come in the neighborhood and these rich folks and they start building, they want the poor people out. They don't want this old building. They don't want welfare recipients. They don't want anybody. They want to give the whole block a new makeover.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. That's what it real. We want a new makeover. We don't want these people on our block, but this is their block. This is where they live. This is where they have their culture, their memories. So you want to put these people out and send them where? So, this guy Gihetto, to save the neighborhood. He's trying to save his people, and they're not helping him. We got Big Mama's one truck shop where the truckers, they don't go to the gas station. I mean, station, but they shop his house. They know they're gonna get a home cooked meal. They're gonna get some good loving. She has a brothel, got the women going on in there, got the booze,
Yeah,
whatever you
I saw
need,
that part. I was like,
and like that in my neighborhood. These are all. Yes, these are all based on real life stories. Like none of this stuff is made up. This is stuff that I've seen in my life that's really happened. So we're just telling these real life stories of survival in a funny way. And it's called The Super. Ended up writing the scripts. I reached out to Tracy at Kinship Studios and I pitched it to him, and he was like, "Yeah, Nas, all we got to do is hit the red button." So somebody like me
that's all you needed to
tell
hear,
me
right?
that is like, oh my God.
It's like that's it. Let's go.
That's all I need to hear. And we filmed it in the, yep. We built the set. I mean, Tracy and they did a phenomenal job. We had 3 cameras rolling. We did it. And I'm really proud of it. Was it perfect? I don't know. No, but for us, we did it. We did it together, community. I super.
That's awesome. So
So I
what's
sat
the
down at the computer,
what's the
like,
future for the super? What's coming up
working
for it?
on my edit. I want to pitch it. Like I have the pitch deck, and I would love to see a network pick it up. We have the proof of concept. We have all the characters. We have all the episodes. I think the super has a bright future.
That's
That's what it does. I believe everything happens for a reason. There's no coincidences in life, and I work for God. I tell anybody I work for God. So all I have to do is plant that seed. That's it. It will grow. It
yeah,
will grow. There's no seed that's planted that's not going to grow. That is if it has good soil, and it does.
yeah, that's the key thing, right? Planting that seed. One of the things that I really
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
about what you've done is that as creatives these days, with technology is our friend these days, where we can do things and we can hit that red button when we're ready to hit that red button. But you got to plant it. You got to do that seed. Back in the day where we'd sit there and belabor and think about, or someone would poo-poo a thing that was supposed to happen. That can't happen anymore. If you wrote that script, I am sure
Hmm.
you weren't writing that script for 10 years before you did it. You just did it. That's so important to people.
Just
To
did
me.
it. I mean, wrote the script in a matter of a couple of weeks. The episodes, we had 7 episodes. Wrote it. We had our table reads on Zoom. Geek Junkie beast. She's such a beast. Geek Junkie did all of our design. She designed the clothes for Trixie. We had Coco. Coco came in. She's an amazing stylist. She worked with the style. I mean, people just came in. I had Tianta Taylor. She goes by Miss Vegas. She was our production manager. Just had a bunch of people coming together. We had Brooklyn Benny. He helped build the set. Omar, just a bunch of people just came in and worked together as a community and made it happen. And it didn't take 6 months. It didn't take 3 months. It
Yeah,
took a couple of months to just say, "Hey, this is what we want to do. Let's do it." I mean, and that's who I am anyway. I'm more of a if this is what we want. I'm an executioner.
hmm,
That's what I am. I'm an executioner. If it needs to be done, let's do it. It doesn't take a lifetime to get something done. But I do love my team. I work with Lester Green, and he's amazing. He's the person that will he's the person that will market, that will brand, that will make sure he and I work very well together. So I'm just grateful. A lot of this stuff on my a partner
yeah,
that
you definitely will. So we will
very
talk
well
about that.
together
Yeah, I want to talk
and
about the
he builds
highlight
a
reel
trust.
here in a second. The highlight reel, right? I want to talk about that here in a second. But what I do want to say is that what you just talked about
Yes.
with the team and how you put that together, That to me is something that I aspire to because that's really authentic leadership, Nas. Those people did all those things because they wanted to be in the super and all those things, but they followed your leadership. And sometimes leadership, we say it's got to be some person with some kind of title or something like that. No, you were just helping these colleagues. You just brought them along, and they were probably all super jazz along the way. That's authentic leadership. Your story brought them to that place. That's that to me is a thing that we've got to make sure that people understand about you. That leadership is what you've done. So let's talk about the highlight reel about that show. Are you still here with me? Let's talk.
Yes, I am. And I'm just blown away what you said about leadership because again, it all stems from childhood, having to raise my sisters, having to lead, having to take care of my mom. And it's just God preparing me for this day. I thank you.
That's awesome. So the highlight reel,
Never
that
looked
is a
at it
new
like
thing you're doing. I saw the videos there. You got a lot of great people coming on. Tell us about that. The highlight reel.
the highlight reel. It's just we want to highlight people, amazing artists who are doing things in the making moves. And this thing that we do, filmmaking, is a passion. It's a love. It's an art, and there's so many different aspects to it. There's so many different parts. They say one body, many parts. And each part needs one another. So there's so many different parts to filmmaking that people do that need to be highlighted. And so we have the highlight reel. We bring Lester. It's hosted by Lester Green and myself, and we bring artists on and we highlight what they're doing in the film community, what they're doing in the community in general. And we just want to celebrate them. That's what it really is about. Celebrate people who are giving of themselves. When we create, right, we're giving of ourselves to the world, rather that be what we're doing right now, Winston, you and I on this podcast, right? It's to inspire people, motivate them, give them a piece of ourselves, or whether it's in front of the camera and it's an actual film, or if it's music, right, or write a book. It's just a part of us that we're giving to the world to make a difference. And I feel like the people who are doing that need to be highlighted.
Yeah.
And so Lester Green and I, that's what we have. We have the highlight reel, and it's so amazing. I love the show. It's season one. So we've completed season one, and we're going to start filming season two, hopefully during early.
You said early when for season two. All right.
Late spring, early summer, season two.
Late spring, early summer. By the way,
Is
Roberts.
my sound good, or do I sound?
Well, you're
Yes.
coming in and out, but people when they hear you, they like that is Nas. They capturing every single word that you are saying. So Robert Cyr, CYR, is saying, "Hey, what's up, Nas?" I don't know if you know Robert, but Robert is giving you some love there. So appreciate
Oh,
you,
hey, Robert.
so appreciate you doing
I
that.
do. Robert is so amazing. He is a screenwriter based in New York. Robert Sear is a screenwriter based in New York. He is a amazing screenwriter, amazing storyteller, amazing person all the way around. He wrote this script called Way to a Woman's Heart, and it was starring Andrew McAllister and myself. Yes, Winston, I was in front of the camera.
I've seen you in front of
And
the
of
camera.
course, it was so hard for me because
You are great in front of the camera. Please don't you every time I've seen it's like what? You are amazing. Lester Green says,
thank
"Great job,
you.
Nas."
Thank you.
Lester says, "Great job, Nas." He's giving you love. Um, he
Oh wow! See,
phenomenal.
that's that's my partner. So yeah, so Lester Green and I, we have another show called Finding Mr. Right Now, dealing with relationships, and we're in the process of filming. We've already filmed 2 episodes. We have 4 more to go. And the first episode is called Amen, written by Lester Green, starring Jamila Turner and Lester Green. And it's an amazing story about a woman who loses, who's in her in the hospital and she can't get in the hospital to see her mother. And this guy driving Lyft, he's a kind of he thinks she's and he goes and he approaches her and then he kind of helps her through that, through what she's going through them. And they say a prayer together, and it's called Amen. It's really powerful. Lester Green, he went along with Jamila Turner, and I don't know if you know Jamila Winston, Jamila
Yeah,
Turner.
I do. So
I
that's
believe you do.
yeah, I do. So
And,
there was a video you
yes, and
had.
then
I was gonna-
Robert Sear.
Go ahead, Robert Sear. You want to comment on Robert Sear?
Oh, he wrote a script called Wait, and yeah, he wrote a script called Wait to a Woman's Heart, and he wrote it for me to be in it. I was like, wow, and it's
Uh,
about a man who it's a love story about a man who's always had this crush on this woman, and he's washing her car one day. She doesn't even notice him or who he is, because this is like years later, and he's washing her car, and she's like, "What are you doing? Why are you washing my car?" And then she finds out who he is, and that and she used to care for his mom back in the day, and all of
didn't
that. He's grown up and he's now handsy and all that good stuff, and the two of them kind of bat eyes and start dating. It's really a cute love story.
didn't I see a video about something like that that you had put together where you were the star in it? You walked up to a gentleman and he was doing something to you, he was doing that to your car. I saw that was is that Robert? Who was in that video? There's a bald head gentleman in that video.
That's Andrew McAllister.
Andrew
That's
McAllister.
Andrew McAllister. He was the yeah he was playing the role of, it was Brian,
Oh, okay. I was like,
and
that's
I
a
was playing the role of Myra.
ah,
Robert. Yeah.
that is
Yeah,
awesome.
it was really cute. It was really adorable. Yeah.
That's awesome. So some of
Yeah.
the
So
things
we have some more. We have modes, and it's just dealing with relationship
dealing with relationships, and that is a
in a positive light. Yeah.
yeah, that is definitely something that's always needed to be talked about because the relationships we have in life, that's the only thing we've got, really.
Hmm.
We don't really got the clothes or the money or the stuff. All that stuff goes away.
Isn't that the truth?
The only thing we'll remember 10, 20, 30 years from now
That's
is
true.
the relationships. We just will. I won't remember if I had a nice suit
That is so true.
or if I had a bunch of money. I'll just remember that I was on a podcast conversation with Nas back in February 2021 and it was dope. I'll remember that, but I don't remember the other stuff. I just, I just think that we as human beings, we sometimes have taken the great parts of capitalism and tried to make it our God, where we're like the stuff that we get is the stuff we worship versus the people and our ability to love people as the things that we should be really, it's really important. I just think that's the truth. And
Yes.
it took me a long time to get to that point. I was probably wrapped up in capitalism for a decent part of my life. Like I want to get the coolest rims or the nicest stereo or the just or whatever it was that was important. That's why the stuff you're doing around relationships, there will never be a moment where someone will go, "Oh yeah, well I've got enough of theirs. I got enough of relationships," because that's what life is, right? That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yes. Yes.
It's
That is
inexhaustible.
so true.
It's
Hmm.
inexhaustible as far as stories.
How you treat people.
That's right.
Yes, and how you treat people is so important. Um, I always say, there's your version, there's another person's version, and then there's God's version, right? Who's there, who sees it all, right? So we have to treat people with love and kindness, because kindness will take you places in this world. Take you. How you tell is so important. People remember that. If they don't remember anything else, they remember how you treated them and how you made them feel.
That's right.
And that's what's important. During this COVID-19, this whole pandemic, I remember getting COVID back in March, when
Really?
nobody knew what COVID was or what to do with it. And
Oh wow.
yeah, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't catch my breath. I felt everything expanding. And I thought to myself, my kids were in their room, and I didn't say anything to them, but I thought to myself, wow, am I going to wake up in the morning? I can't breathe. Am I going to wake up in the morning? And I just started drinking like water and doing all these home remedies that I saw my grandma do, my mother do. And I believe that got me through it. Then if I don't wake up, if I close my life, did I do all that I wanted to do? Did I see all that I wanted to see? Am I satisfied with the life that I lived? And what's really important, and like you said, Winston, it's not about the money. It's not about chasing. What's important is that I live each day enjoying my life and doing what I love. That's more important than me getting $1 million. Are confused. That's where they're twisted. They're like, oh my God, I gotta do all these things that I don't want to do so I can become a millionaire or I can be like this person. To me, it's like when I wake up, what can I do to be happy? What's gonna make me happy? Enjoy my life. Because tomorrow I want a life worth living, that I had fun, that I lived in peace, that I did the things I wanted to do and I enjoyed my life. And that's where I changed. And thanks to the pandemic, you know,
Yeah,
thanks to the pandemic, it helped me to see things differently.
I'm
It's not
so
about me hustling, and it's about me enjoying my life that God gave me. It's about when I close my eyes at night, if I don't wake up, I know that I living that day. It's
yeah,
been people and honest and treating people the right way. That's
yeah.
what it's about.
I'm
And
so
like you
sorry to
said,
hear about you.
relationships, being grateful for them.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that you were in a pandemic, but anyone can be evidence that you can't tell because you kept going, and that's the important thing. Um, I just tell you, this world right now, we've just got to
Yes.
think about what's important, who's important. You know, the person who wants $1 million, they can probably get it, but they got to. And people tell me this all the time, that yo, dude, you got to get $1 million. And then my response is like, who am I going to help with $1 million? And if the answer is just myself, then probably not motivated enough to do it. At least these days. There's some people who are, and there's some people who do that way.
Hmm.
But most of us, we like, who is it? When you get money, you don't get money necessarily just for yourself all the time. Yeah, you get yourself some stuff, but you usually got some kids or some family or somebody that you're using for that resource for. Going back to relationships.
Hmm.
As always, this has been an awesome conversation. For those of you who were able to join us today, um, thank you so much for joining us. You will obviously see another part of this. This will be uploaded to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all of that. So, Nas, don't worry about it. We'll do some magic editing around the voice and making sure that we try to maximize your great words because people want to hear it. There's no doubt about that. so, um, so,
Thank you.
so I want you to share with the audience here of the Creativity Cocktail, especially as we're getting close to 2 years since we've been doing this show, and it's been an amazing journey. I'm so glad to have you back on. Like, what is it they need to do now if they're creative and they've got a creative idea or a story or a script? What do you want to tell them right now? You and them are talking. You're going to give them some advice as direct as you possibly can because I know you and I know you are not shy about being direct to people. so what so and they got something that they be like, yo, I got this thing I wrote or I got this thing I'm doing, and you in front of them, you're like, all right, do X. What are you telling them?
Yeah, yeah. Well, if somebody has a script, that it depends where you want to go with it. So if you have a script that you just want to write a great script, I would say just write a great script. Don't put no boundaries on yourself. Just write and enjoy it. But if it's something that you want to film, write it in a way where it's production friendly. Write in a way where it meets your budget, where it can actually be done. You don't write a script where you have 10 locations and you only have $5,000. You have $5,000, have two locations,
That's right.
have a few actors, a couple of actors, because you got to take into account You got a crew, you got to feed a crew, you got to feed your actors, you got to have props, wardrobe, makeup, all these different things come into play. So I think, my advice is if you have something that you want to do it, but make sure that it's doable.
Yeah,
Make sure it's production friendly and you're going to get great production value. And if you don't know how to do something, speak to somebody, find somebody who does. You have a lot of people here that give themselves, and it's great. You want to give yourself a producer or a director, but if you don't understand and how to frame a shot, how can you give yourself, how you can't tell a story through the lens? It does
that's right.
not make you a DP, right? I would say, hone that craft, keep growing, keep trying. That's what it takes. Ask questions, find a mentor, do it on your own projects and someone else's, right? Because you want to mess up your own. I tell you, I worked on a lot of projects, Winston. I have not just become beast mode. I've been here doing this thing from back in 2013, 2014 here called Atlanta Film, and we were by the hundreds. And
Yeah,
takes, we had to work on stuff, we had to grow, we had to overcome things, and you just, that's how you learn, right? I'm gonna do it this way differently. I won't do it that way. So it's just about, do and over and over again. And if you make a mistake, you get back up and you do it again. That's it. And then when you feel like that you have really mastered your craft, then you give yourself that title.
that's awesome. So we love you. I am so inspired
Other
by
than
you.
that, I mean, I see people do it all the time, but oh, I love you too, Winston.
Thank
Winston,
you.
you are totally awesome. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me on your show.
Yes.
You are amazing. Sour milk from sour milk. You're just an instant, really.
Thank you.
And I've learned a lot from you,
Thank you so much. So
from
Nas,
you,
how can
how to organize.
thank
You're
you.
He
I was
he
going to
like he
ask.
like don't that's enough for me. That's enough,
No,
Nas, is talking about me, but I'm getting ready to go in.
I'm light skinned, so I can blush for real. So, so I thank you so much. Let me ask you, like, if somebody wants to connect with you and see all the stuff you got going, what's the ways they can connect in and see all the stuff you got going on?
Oh, I have a website, nazpanky.com is my website. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I'm on Instagram as Beast Mode Nas, NAZ. I am on Facebook. My email is so it's me. Just Google Nas Panky. You
Yes,
can
yes.
find me.
We
My
be
book is on Amazon, Evergreen Uprooted, Memoirs of Secret. And I also have a YouTube page, Beast Mode Entertainment. That's where you can find the highlight, a lot of my work there.
That's awesome. So I was just showing for our group here, for our audience, some of the things that you're involved in. So please connect, and we will put a lot of this stuff in the show notes too, so people can see it. So we'll put your links there, Nas, in the show notes, so people can connect with that. As always, you are wonderful. Any way that I can help you, please let me
Thank
know.
you.
You and Lester and Beast Mode and all the stuff you guys are doing are phenomenal. I thank you again for joining us on the Creativity Cocktail. Keep being dope. Keep inspiring all of us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my brother. Thanks for having me on your show. It's been a blessing and a pleasure as usual. And
Thank
as
you.
always, thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.